students. How are you all? I hope all of you are keeping well. I welcome you today's English class. In the last class we started the first lesson from the movements, the lost child. You have seen that a child along with his parents going for a village spring festival. He was very happy and excited, and all the way he was attracted by the different things that he had seen. He was so happy to see many people, a big crowd coming for the fair. He was attracted by the different things that were displayed on the way, the toys, then sweets, flowers, balloons. Each time he came in front of a shop, he stopped there, he was looking at the things, then he was asking his parents to buy and give. But his parents were not willing to buy and give. Each time he was disappointed. He knew before he asked himself that his parents will not buy and give. Anyhow, he continued to ask for the things. And last week we have seen that he reached near this balloon, a man selling different colors of balloons, and he wanted to get it, and he asked, but he knew that they would say that he was too old to play with the toys. So students, take your page number 3, fifth paragraph. Fifth paragraph. A snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan, while the music stole into his invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible waterfall. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. So this time he stopped in front of a snake charmer who was playing music, and the snake was raising his head in a graceful manner and playing. It was moving according to the tune of the music. He was attracted towards the beautiful music, but he knew that if he remained there, his parents would say that he was not allowed, forbidden means not allowed to hear such coarse means rough music as the snake charmer played. So he proceeded further, he went ahead. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women and children carried away in a whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them intently, and then he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout, please, father, mother. So this time he was attracted by a roundabout, and people were men, women and children were on it, and they were in full swing, going around in a whirling motion means cycling motion. And they were shrieking means shouting. They made noise, cried with dizzy laughter. There was a great confusion, and they were laughing and making such a lot of noise from the roundabout. The child watched them intently, means attentively he watched this roundabout, how the people were enjoying, and then he made a bold request, a courageous request. I want to go on the roundabout, please, father, mother. Again he was asking his parents, please give me a permission to go on the roundabout. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. So this time, since he did not get any reply, he looked at his parents and he found that nobody was there. Ahead of him means in front. Each time they were in front of him. But this time they were not there in front of him. He turned to look either side. Both sides he looked and his parents were not there. He looked behind. After that he looked back and behind and there was no sign of them. He could not find them at all. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear, "Mother, Father." So this time he started, when he realized that his parents were not there anywhere nearby, he started screaming, crying, calling, "Father, Mother." Tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Panic-stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither, in all directions, knowing not where to go. "Father, Mother," he wailed. His yellow turban came untied and his clothes became muddy. So he started crying. Tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fierce, means he was frightened and out of fear his face was changed and tears rolled down his flushed face, means wet with tears. He was convulsed with trembling with fear. Panic-stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other. Hither and thither means here and there. So he was confused where to go. He went here and there, and first he went, then to the other side, then here and there. To all directions he went, and he did not know where to go. He started screaming, crying and calling, "Mother, Father." He wailed means he was sobbing or crying. And finally his yellow turban came untied and his clothes became muddy because he was going around in the mud. The color of his clothes turned to muddy color, and his yellow turban, it was also untied because he was feeling so bad, crying and going around confused. Having run to and fro in a rage of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. So he was running to and fro, means back and front he was running, and then he understood that they were not there. He could not find them. He stood defeated. He himself did not know what to do. His cries suppressed into sobs. This time he started crying slowly without making any noise. He was weeping. A little distance on the green grass he could see through his filmy eyes men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. So standing there, he could see little distance. There was a patches of there was grass, green grass, where people were standing in groups and they were talking and laughing loudly. So he looked there whether he could see bright yellow clothes of his parents, whether they were in that group. And He ran quickly, he could not see. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. So from there, when he looked, he found that there was a shrine, and in front of that shrine or temple, many people were gathered. So he ran there to find out whether his parents were in the crowd there. Every little inch of space he was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs, his little sob lingering, mother, father. So there was a big crowd. In between the crowd he was going through and begging, screaming and telling mother, father, calling, and then he went inside the crowd. He got inside the crowd. Near the entrance to the temple, however, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other, heavy men with flashing murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. So near to the entrance to the temple there was a heavy rush, and so many people of a very fat body, that very fatty people were there, and they were jostling each other. Men jostled each other means they are pushing each other. Heavy men were there with a flashing murder. They had very flashing murderous means very frightening eyes look, and hefty shoulders, heavy shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He was trying to find a way in between, getting in between them and searching for his parents. He might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, "Father, Mother." A man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and stooping with great difficulty lifted him up in his arms. So he could have been trampled underfoot if he was not screaming and making noise, calling mother, father, and it was that saved him. Otherwise they could have trampled underfoot. And finally from the moving crowd, surging crowd means moving crowd, here a man heard his cry, and stooping, bending with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. So one kind of strange man, he heard his cry and he bent and lifted him in his arms. "How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you?" the man asked as he steered clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried, "I want my mother, I want my father." How the strange man lifted him up in his arms, and he asked, "How did you get here? And whose baby are you?" He was asking in order to find out the detail about the parents, and he wanted to rescue him. The man asked, as he steered clear of the mass, the crowd, the people, steered clear means came out. He was trying to come out of the crowd with this child, asking him detail about his family background. The child wept more bitterly than ever now and only cried. So he did not give any answer, he cried all the more. And he was asking, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. This time he took him near to the roundabout and trying to console him. "Will you have a ride on the horse?" So he asked whether the child would like to have a ride on the horse. He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father." He was no longer interested in getting into the roundabout, but he was crying, searching for his mother and father. He did not give any reply. He was not interested in going in the roundabout. The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swaying cobra. "Listen to that nice music, child," he pleaded. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double-pitched strain, "I want my mother, I want my father." So this time he took the child to the snake charmer, where the snake charmer was playing beautiful music and asked him to listen to the music, and the child, instead of listening, he closed his ears and he was crying, and he all the more he made a loud noise, and in loud noise he was crying and asking for his mother and father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. "Would you like a rainbow-colored balloon?" he persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." So this time, the strange man took him to the balloon man who was selling the balloons. There were beautiful balloons of rainbow colors, and he asked, he wanted to divert his attention and asked, "Would you like a rainbow colored balloon?" He persuasively means in a convincing manner he asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloon. He was not at all interested in the balloons. He started sobbing all the more, and he said, "I want my mother, I want my father." The man, still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. "Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put on your neck, put around your neck?" So this time, in order to divert the attention of the child, the strange man took him to the flower seller and asked him to to enjoy the smell of the beautiful smell of the flower, and asked him whether he wanted a garland to put around his neck. The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob, "I want my mother, I want my father." Reiterated means repeated. So he was not interested in to smell those flowers or to get a garland. Instead, he was repeatedly crying, screaming, and asking for his mother and father. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. "What sweets would you like, child?" he asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, "I want my mother, I want my father." So this time he took him to a sweet shop and asked him what sweet you would like to have. But he was not interested. Before he was asking his parents for a burfi, the sweets, and now he did not want any of those things. Now you see, he took him everywhere, to the roundabout, to the snake charmer, to the garland, to the balloons, to the toys. He was not at all interested, and finally to the sweet shop seller he took him, but he was not interested. He was asking only for his mother and father. So the story, there is no proper ending for this story. We don't know whether we can conclude by ourselves the story. Finally, the strange man, the kind man, might have taken the child to the parents. parents also might have searched for the child and finally they might have met each other. Now you see, the child who was so much interested in all the things at first, later on he was not at all interested when the strange man was ready to buy. We don't know what was the reason. Sometimes he might have been instructed by the parents that don't accept anything from the strangers. Maybe that was the reason. We don't know what was the reason. So, children, the message from this story is that we should not be simply, we should not take for granted our parents. Parents are a gift to us and we have to understand their value. Now you see, the child did not understand the value of his parents when they were with him. But once he lost, he was going on asking for only his parents. He realized their value and he was screaming and crying and asking for his parents. And another lesson from this story is that when we go along with our parents, we should remain with our parents, holding their hand. We should not get lost in the crowd. Okay? Okay, students, you read the story once or twice. Question answer will be given in the WhatsApp. You write down neatly on the other part of the notebook. Okay? One side you write question answers of Beehive. On the opposite side you can start writing the supplementary question answers. Okay, students, thank you. Have a nice day.